Senator, we have never seen so many progressive tax plans in a Democratic presidential primary. You have a very progressive tax plan, including a wealth tax, but all of the other candidates do too. I want to ask, in a Warren presidency, let's assume that Mitch McConnell is still in the United States Senate and might still be in control of it by a vote or two, or close to it, but certainly in a filibuster position. And the best that they can get through Congress, the best Nancy Pelosi can manage, is basically the Biden tax plan today, which is basically a restoration of the Obama tax rates, pushing the top income tax rate back up to 39%. But no Warren wealth tax, none of those proposals that you've made beyond raising the top income tax. Would you veto that if that's what the Democrats in Congress were able to send you?
No. So understand this. Look, the approach I use is you make something better for working families, then yeah, let's do it. But then I'm going to get up the next morning and fight to make it better, because that's what we have to do. We have to take our wins and keep fighting to make it stronger. But I want to say something really important about this point you're making on taxes. Understand this. That 2-cent wealth tax that I've been pushing, that's not just popular among Democrats. It's popular among Republicans across this nation. Look, Democrats and Republicans understand that they're just getting ripped off. Just the wealth tax itself, that 2-cent tax on fortunes above $50 million. Understand this, the 99% last year paid 7.2% of their total wealth in taxes. That top 1/10 of 1% that I'm talking about, they paid 3.2%, less than half as much. So here's my plan around this. I'm going to fight for the wealth tax from the White House, and I'm going to ask people across this country to fight to press our Congress to do the people's business. And I want to add one more point. You said Mitch McConnell may be able to block this with a filibuster. Look, if Mitch McConnell tries to do to me what he did to Barack Obama year after year of just blocking everything, then I say it's time to get rid of the filibuster. If we want to make real change in this country, you can't cling to the filibuster. The filibuster is what gives the giant corporations, everybody who loves this complicated tax thing, that gives them all the breaks. That's what gives them a veto. And it's true everywhere. We keep that filibuster, and all our fight against climate change is going to have a veto by the oil industry. We keep that filibuster, and the gun industry will have a veto on real changes on gun violence. So for me, this is about getting things done. And if Mitch McConnell tries to block doing the people's business, then we get rid of the filibuster and we do what needs to be done in this country.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.